horrible today. It's just heavy, really heavy.
Yeah, same
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. I just can't breathe most of the time, but
I didn't get tea because it's so hot. I have water.
yeah, I've only got water actually. I forgot, but I wasn't going to bring coffee anyway because I don't drink coffee at night. Hello.
Hi there.
Oh, people are coming in. We were just talking about how hot it is, so I hope it's hot where you are, guys. Yeah, so we just hang on 1 second, see if anybody else is here. Oh, yeah, really hot, really hot. I know I sound like a moaning Brit, but I don't like this weather. I don't like the hot weather. Hi everybody. Hi, Diana.
Hi, Diana, Chris, Bob, Joy, and Carolyn. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you all whizzed up too fast, and if I try and wind it back, I'm always frightened I'll do something and it'll go completely. So. And also, my brain is so hot, I can't think
Yeah,
straight.
same here.
Anyway,
Not a big fan of the heat either.
so
I'm sensitive
John, carry on.
person. I get very quickly, overwhelmed by the heat. But now I know it, so I can, plan accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't do anything today. It was just so heavy. I couldn't breathe. I thought
Mhm.
because I get asthma as well, so that
Oh,
doesn't
I'm
help.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's one of those things, and it only affects me occasionally, like
Mhm.
really cold winter or really hot summer.
Oh.
Anyway, anyway, so the idea behind us doing this is we just thought because Ilham said to me a little while back that talking with me is like having a coffee with a friend. And I thought, well, that's exactly how I want my lives to come across. So why not do it in that format and have like a coffee chat where other people are invited to come along if they want to. And we just sit and talk. So, join in the chat, ask questions, do whatever you like, within reason, of course. And I did want to say something to begin with. So I had this idea now over the weekend, and I haven't even told Ilham this, but over the weekend, I read Ali Abdul's newsletter, the YouTube guy that used to be the doctor.
Yeah.
And he was talking about a really, really happy woman that he knew. And he asked her what her secret was of always being so happy. And she said that she'd gone on this, I can't remember, it was an event or a retreat or something. And a group of them decided that they would join a WhatsApp group. And every so often, one of them, like it can be any one of them, I don't know how many are on there, but any one of them can just put on a note on WhatsApp saying, does anybody want to do a gratitude call? And so they get on a Zoom call and they just say what they're grateful for at that point in time. And you might get 1 or 2 people on there. You might get 10 people on there. I mean, there's probably lots of people in the group, but there's only so many free at any point of time. And I thought, well, I want to go. I love that idea, but I wouldn't want to go for the idea of setting up a WhatsApp and going on Zoom and da 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 da. And they were saying they do it 2 or 3 times a day, which is just too much. But I do like the concept. So my idea is that I will go on a live, just a 5-minute live at some point in the day, not every day, but some days. So it's very random, just like I've got 5 minutes, I've got something I'm happy about, I'm going to go live and I'm going to tell you what it is. And I want people to come on the live and say what they're grateful for at that point in time. And that way it'll work the same way. And my hope is that other people will start doing it too. And this, if you imagine, there are, I don't know, 50 million people now, is it, on Substack?
Oh,
Imagine
wow.
if 50 million people started doing that, we could change the world. It's like a proper, so it's a gratitude movement that I want to start from this point. So, with that
I
being
love it.
said,
Love the idea.
excellent, excellent. I love it. Thank you, Byron. You've joined our group, right? Okay, so I today am really grateful, despite the fact it's really, really hot. I am so grateful. I've got a fan, and I've been sitting with the fan on. Reading my book. So that's what I'm grateful for. And I'm also grateful that it is sunny because the flowers are loving it. I've been having had so much
Oh,
rain in the UK lately. So that's my gratitude. What are you grateful for, Ilham?
well, I'm grateful for the fact that I came back from the office today at 5 p.m. and I was starving. And because I had Tupperwares full of healthy food in the fridge, I instead of grabbing like the first piece of chocolate I could find, or instead of going to the vending machine at work, I got to eat some veggies. I know it sounds crazy to do that at 5 p.m., but no, it was more like almost 6 p.m. But I was like, I don't know, I'm going for it. Maybe to the American people joining us, that doesn't sound so weird, but here in Spain, tell anyone that you're having dinner at 6 p.m. and they look at you like you need to be in a, mental clinic or something. And so I had, just very healthy little pre-dinner and felt great. And I feel very grateful for that because I get very lazy about cooking.
Excellent. Oh, that's brilliant.
Does it count?
It's
Is that
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Everything counts. If you're grateful, it counts. You can be grateful that, you, I don't know, you smiled at somebody today or somebody smiled at you. You can be grateful for anything. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
great.
It's the feeling of gratitude that makes a difference.
Hmm.
And I did a gratitude thing on the weekend just to test it out on my chat community. And one of the ladies, oh my God, I'm so sorry, but I've forgotten her name for a minute. It's just gone out of my head. I know it begins with R. But anyway, she said, I'm grateful that I'm seeing family, but I need to get to my train and I think I'm running late. And she said, but I know I'm going to get this train. I'm definitely going to get this train, even though I'm running late. And then she messaged later and said, I ran across the station as fast as I could. And she's in her 70s, I think. She ran across the station as fast as I could. And I got on the train. And she said, so that's what I'm grateful for. And I said, okay, so you had an intention and you were grateful. And this is what happens. That's
Yeah.
the magic of being grateful. Byron, I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful that I am listening to you lovely young ladies. Well, one of us is young.
Well,
Thank you, though.
Well,
And the coffee you're
too.
drinking. Oh, lovely.
Lovely,
Oh,
Byron. Thank you. We're grateful
thank
that
you
you're
so
here.
much. Yeah. Anybody else want to say what they're grateful for? Don't be shy. Must be grateful for something. But while they're thinking, probably all gone anyway. But while they're thinking, um, let me introduce myself. Young at heart, Sue. Oh, hello, Bob. Thank you. You're so sweet. Aloha. I'm Ellen. I'm grateful for this beautiful morning. Oh, bless you.
Lovely.
Lovely person.
Oh,
And
Peter is here.
Peter, what are you grateful for, Peter? Tell us. He's grateful that he made it to the live.
I'm sure.
So for anybody, while he's
wondering what we're
thinking,
talking about, because no
about.
context whatsoever.
So while we're waiting, my name is Sue Reid. My publication is Confidence Matters, so I write about confidence. And my vision is really for everybody to live a confident, aligned life. And now, my three pillars that I live by are love, kindness, and gratitude. So I'm bringing gratitude in, and then we'll build in love and kindness later, but we'll focus on gratitude for the minute. I'm grateful for the both of you, to have the both of you in my life. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet. And Farid said, great to see you both. Great to see you too. Thank you for being here. Okay. So, Ilham, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. So my name is Ilham. I'm the writer behind 1% Wiser. And in my publication, I study my own life and I learn things and I share them there. And it's all about emotional intelligence and, getting to know our emotions better, ourselves better, and becoming wiser 1% at a time every day.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because it aligns with my step by step. Just do everything step by step. That's how we grow. There's no point in rushing into anything. Just do everything one step at a time. Brilliant. So the main topic we were going to talk about today was, we can talk about anything. That's what a coffee chat's about. But we were thinking about negative self-talk, which has actually been my theme for the month. And I know you've been working on that. You've been talking about it too.
Yeah,
And so is this something that has affected you in the past?
very much so. Yeah, I have learned many things about this. I am now very much aware that there is this voice in my head, no matter how weird it sounds, that's pretty much narrating everything all the time from the moment I wake up until the moment I go to bed. It's there and blah, 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 narrating all the time. And there was a time in my life when I wasn't aware that there was a voice narrating. I thought that was just, I don't know how to describe it. It was just me going through life and
Yeah.
seeing the reality of my life. And anything that was in here was my reality, and that's it. And so it took me moving countries, coming to a new place, new language, new job position, sector, everything. And it took that for all of my insecurities to just bubble up at the surface and just like completely, burst. And what happened there is that I basically it manifested itself as a lot of fear all the time, fear of being discovered, fear of messing up. Just it wasn't a very nice place to be. It showed up a lot in my professional life more than in other areas. But it was really a problem because my professional life represents a big chunk of my time, of my week today. And so it really took things getting to be very, very heavy for me to just be like, at some point, wait a second, like, who is this in my head talking to me all day long and bringing me down? Like, that voice was really
Mm.
harsh. It was very cruel, pointed out everything I didn't do perfectly, compared me to others all the time. And it especially really loved making predictions, very scary predictions. Like, you're
Mm.
gonna screw up spectacularly, you're gonna be fired, and you're probably disappointing the people who hired you, and blah 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 blah. Blah. So to answer your question, yes, I did struggle with it a lot, and because I struggled with it so much, I get to I get to look back at that person that I was 6 years ago and think, wow, yeah, a lot has changed ever since. Not perfect, or as you say
Mm.
yourself
Mm.
sometimes. It probably never will be perfect, and that voice will probably never completely leave. But you do get much quicker at spotting it and you handling it really.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the when you become aware of it, it changes things because it's no longer this. Because, like you say, you don't realize it's there. It's just living. You're living, and this is talking to you all the time and saying, "Oh, you did that wrong. You did this wrong." Um, or Melin says, I can relate to having an inner critic. Ilham, a lot has also changed for me as sorry, it keeps going off into the white. I can't read it. I've channeled my inner ally. Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
Thank you, Melinda. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We can balance it out because what I found is that this inner critic, the one that we think this is so harsh and it's beating me up all the time, it's not trying to hurt you. It sounds like it is. It sounds really cruel, but it is not trying to hurt you. When you look at what it's actually saying, it's trying to protect you. It wants you to survive because at the end of the day, all your brain cares about is that you survive. It doesn't understand happy and sad. It just thinks as long as you're alive, I'm alive, we're okay. We're okay. And that's all it needs. So as we grow up, things happen. So for me, I didn't get told I was stupid, but I believed I was stupid because I had a clever sister and my dad was always comparing us.
Right.
Um, and so that told me I was stupid. I believed I wasn't very interesting because I was very shy. And so all of this, I'm telling myself, I'm telling my inner critic, if you like, my brain, that I'm stupid, I'm not very interesting. So of course, when I go to a social event, my brain, my subconscious, my mind, whatever it is saying, hang on a minute, you're not interested and you're not very clever. What are you going to talk about? They're going to think you're stupid. You really, really don't want to go to that. That's going to be awful. And your brain just is a drama queen, as we've said before, and it thinks you're going to die. It just wants to make sure you don't die. And if you go to that party and somebody criticizes you, then you'll probably die. That's
Feels
that's
like
the way it
that.
looks at it. So it's going to try and stop you.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
once we start realizing that and stepping away and saying, no, actually, this is going to be fine. Look, I went to something last week and nobody killed me. I was absolutely all right.
Mm.
I'm just going to do it again. And then when you start to do that and you start to calm it down, it quietens down. And like Melin said, your inner ally starts to speak up.
Yeah.
It's definitely a safety mechanism. Yes, yes, it
Mhm.
is. And can I just say hello to Brandon because I saw him come in and that's my friend.
Hi, Brandon. um, Absolutely. And I love that you mentioned that as humans, we were not optimized for happiness and bliss. We're built for survival, and survival will always be the priority for our psyche, for our brain. And it's here to protect us. We just have to be very careful that by trying to protect us, it's not keeping us small, and it's not making us miserable, because you can live a very long life being protected and safe, but thinking you are worthless,
Mm,
and just suffering so much, and it's just so pointless. Because to me, sometimes life will throw things at you that will inevitably be painful, and that's the way it is, and it's just life, and we accept it, we deal with it, we move on. But I really have an issue with pointless suffering. Like when it's completely avoidable, you could absolutely live a different way, feel differently, but because of the things that happen to you, the level of awareness that you have, or that inner dialogue in your head, you end up never fulfilling your potential, never going for your dreams, having regrets later on, being miserable and making everybody around you miserable, because that's just the kind
yeah.
of energy that you're radiating. Um, so that's the kind of suffering that I like to tackle in my newsletter, in my publication, and I know you do as well. And so once we realize, and we can create a little bit of distance between that constant narration going on in our head, recognize that voice. I think it's called metacognition, when you're able to start thinking about your own thinking. It's like you're noticing it from outside and you're like, wait a minute. It's like as if you were looking at an inventory of thoughts. Look, I just had this thought that was telling me I was stupid. And then I had this other one telling me not to go to that event.
Mm.
And then you can just look at it from here, and you can bring some external I was gonna say external eyes, which doesn't mean much, because eyes are
Like
external.
external
Like,
awareness.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
an awareness to it, like a critical mind to it, and challenge it a
yeah.
little bit. And it's beautiful because it's a practice, and if you do it once, you've already won, because that's it. You've discovered how you can do that, and then it becomes easier and easier to do it, and it does compound over time. Like, the way I am nowadays has nothing to do with how I was, in my late 20s. And again, I mean, I still have my moments. Like right before joining this live, I was like, "Oh my god, you look so flushed, and it's too hot, and you're sweaty, and how is I gonna?" But then you just get better at just doing the thing anyway, and just caring a little bit less. And the beauty of it also, and I know you write a lot about this, is that you can get to develop a nicer relationship with yourself, as if you were becoming your own friend or your own ally, as Melinda said. And then from there on, things change, and that's when you start building self-love, you start building self-belief, self-confidence. Like, so many, it's like a tree, like branching out, beautiful big tree with like beautiful leaves and fruit, and it just, so many things come from that little, I was gonna say like little, how do you call it, grain? No, the thing you plant. It just branches out, and it's very, very
Mm.
nice work to do.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the going back to when we were talking about gratitude, the lady that was running across the station is called Ruth. Sorry, Ruth, I could not remember your name because you just joined. Ruth. Hello, Ruth. Hello to everybody that's just come in. Byron says,
Welcome.
life will throw a twist in your lie, and then it's gone into the white. I can't read it. And not threw you into the pit for 19 long years. Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
we need to know more about that story, Byron, please. Um, 3 a.m. coffee joined. Ideal. I
Yeah.
hope you brought your coffee with you. Bob Lewis says negative self talk is the whole basis of imposter syndrome. Yeah, it is. It's when it really takes hold, isn't it? And Lisa, my friend, hello, how are you? Yeah, okay, that's caught up with all the chat. Thank you very much. Yeah, so why we were talking about gratitude just now, if I can just repeat what I said earlier. So I had this idea, and if you will need to watch the replay to find out where I got it from, so I won't go through all that again. But I have this idea that at certain times during the week, I will go live for 5 minutes and just say what I'm grateful for at that point in time. So if you see me do that, come on the live and tell me what you're grateful for. And what I'm really, really hoping is that other people will start doing that too, and just do these 5 minute lives and just say, this is what I'm grateful for right at this moment. And it could be that something's just happened and you want to tell people. So don't write a note about it, or write a note, but also do a live about it. And I think if we can get the 50 million or whatever it is Substack subscribers to do that every week, that would be amazing. I mean, that would change the world. So that's my movement I'm starting from today. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa says it's great to see us both.
Good to see you, Lisa. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, and so that's why we were talking about Ruth running across the train station. So going back to negative self-talk, I love that idea so much, Sue. Brilliant. Okay, so you need to do it, Lisa. You need to join the club. Thank you. Yes. So negative self-talk. I think it was something you were saying that I was going to pick up on. Oh, yeah, stepping back from it when you start treating yourself like your best friend and being nicer to yourself. So this, it all comes, because this all comes into confidence. So you need to love yourself. You need to believe in yourself, love yourself, and accept yourself exactly as you are. And when you do that, the inner critic is not going to be as harsh as it was, because now you love yourself. So you're not going to be saying these nasty things to yourself. And when they do come up, you'll never get rid of the voice, but you've got your inner ally that's going to jump in and say, well, no, hang on a minute. I'm not stupid. I just made a mistake. And okay, that didn't go very well, but I'm learning as I go. This is new to me. And you start having this conversation, a two-way conversation with like the goodie and the baddie, if you like, the inner critic, the ally. And something you said a while ago, Ilham, that we've talked about before, is giving your inner critic a name. And that actually, by giving it a name, and you can say, because I call mine Sniffy Smithy, which is after a teacher that I've talked about before. And so if I say, okay, Sniffy Smithy, you can shut up now because I know what I'm doing. And that's the ally talking. Brandon says it's more difficult to say something harsh to someone you love, including yourself. Yeah, that's exactly it. With somebody you love, you're not going to say, oh, you stupid idiot, what do you think you're doing? Or you might do, but then you'd feel guilty afterwards. So you're probably not going to say something quite that harsh. So think of yourself as your best friend, the person that you love the most, because you ought to.
Yeah. Why
Why
shouldn't
not?
you? Why shouldn't you be kind to yourself? Why shouldn't you extend to yourself the same kindness and generosity that you so easily give others? Like a friend would come to you, say that they messed up at work or whatever, and the first inclination, the first urge you'll get is to comfort them and help them.
Yeah.
Because this is the way we are. I believe that we are wired for kindness. But then when it comes to ourselves, perhaps, I'm sure there are many explanations. Maybe because we were taught from a young age that, that's not, that we shouldn't be humble, and that, being too kind to yourself is like being arrogant or having a huge ego or something. Then somewhere along the way, we lost the nuance and we lost the difference between those two. So we decided to go all the way to the extreme parts of like just having the whip down, like, like super harsh. I don't know where it comes from. Protection, I'm sure.
It is protection, but I think it's also because we live in this fast modern world now, and we are expected. I mean, society, and I don't know where this has come from either, but society puts so much pressure on people to be the best. You got to win at everything. You got to do, you've got to get the highest scores. You got to be the best version of yourself. Well, why can't I just be me?
Yeah.
With flaws and all?
Mm.
So I think that doesn't help. And also I think that because our ancestral brain, so the part of our brain at the back, hasn't quite caught up with the modern world yet. So we've got part of our brain that's in the modern world saying go, go, go. And then we've got the part that wants us to survive saying, no, don't go, stay here.
Yeah.
And so there's that mind in conflict as well, which doesn't help. Maybe in the future, maybe our ancestral brain will catch up and think, oh, actually, we're in the modern world now. I can shut up. Or maybe like scientists will find a way to like cut it out, maybe. So you've just got your frontal part of
Yeah.
your brain. You can just work on that. And then we
Mhm.
won't even think about criticizing ourselves. Right, we've got I love this when we get loads of comments.
Yeah, so great.
So, Brandon. Oh, yeah, I've done Brandon. Right, Ruth, I talk to my imposter all the time. I actually welcome her. Good idea, because I know she's trying to protect me. Brilliant, Ruth. But then I tell her I'm fine and she can go away. Absolutely. This is it.
Mm.
This is absolutely spot on. Melon says my inner ally is Mama. Is that Wahini? Is that
Hine. Ana wahine.
Wahina, which means strong woman in Hawaiian. Oh, lovely. Whereas my inner critic was anxiety girl, very different. And I love that you didn't even give her an Hawaiian name. Just anxiety
Doesn't get a
girl.
Hawaiian name, lady girl.
You don't get a special name. Byron says, be kind to yourself first, then it will be easier to be kind to others. Absolutely true. Peter, when you become friends with yourself and learn to love yourself more, do you think that this naturally helps you to align your inner voice with how you feel and you take more control? Um, is that over? Sorry, it goes off the end and I can't read it too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think the more you learn to love yourself and accept yourself as you are, just always start where you are. Nobody is perfect. Whatever you think when you look at people on pictures and social media and on TV and everything, whatever you think, there is nobody that doesn't have a problem right at this moment. There is always something going on. And there is nobody that is a complete mess. They might think they are. Again, they've always got something to be grateful for. So, yeah, the more you love yourself, the more you accept yourself for what you are, for how you are right at this moment in time. Ruth says, thanks for sharing, Melinda. Yeah, you want to follow Melinda. She's lovely. Absolutely lovely. Hmm.
I think there's, if I may add, this notion also that, part of this channel the inner alleys to cheer yourself on, which is also great. But I think there was an insight, I believe it was from Alan the Button, and I'm sure I'm butchering his name, which explained that the inclination when we want to start having, healthier inner dialogue is to like be like, no, you're great, you're awesome, you're fantastic. But he says that perhaps a more helpful way to approach it is to just think you're not perfect, you're flawed.
Yeah.
So is everybody else.
Yeah.
Like the moment you realize that no one is perfect, that everybody has their shortcomings and their flaws, you can even start looking at those flaws as, the things that make you interesting. Imagine a movie character that's just perfect and that has no flaw and everything goes great for them the whole time. I mean, they wouldn't be as interesting, right?
No.
So learning to have that little bit of being able to laugh at yourself, and to embrace your imperfections in the sense that, yeah, these are my quirks. What are yours? You know,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
makes it a little bit more interesting, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, people that have got a story to tell, people that have got, a backstory and a little bit of trauma, you can relate to that. You can say, well, you're like me. I've got an issue as well. I relate to
Mm.
that.
Mm.
Aloha, Ruth. You are very welcome. Oh, bless her. Yeah. And I think, I don't know what I think now. It's gone back out of my head again. Um, I think when we it's okay to say I am fantastic, I am brilliant when you feel fantastic and brilliant, you can psych yourself up and make yourself have a better day. But if you are feeling really down, there you can say I'm fantastic, but you won't believe it.
Mm.
You won't believe it because you don't feel fantastic.
Mm.
You need to reflect what you feel inside. And if you feel miserable and sad, then just say, I feel miserable and sad. You don't have to say it to anybody else. Just say it to yourself. Admit it. Look, I'm feeling miserable and sad. What do I need right now? And
Mm.
whatever that is, let yourself have it.
Mm.
But you also ask yourself why. So what's making me sad?
Mhm.
Yeah, and why do I feel like I need to go and eat a bar of chocolate now, or I need
Mm.
to eat, a big donut? Why am I feeling that? But don't try and convince yourself you're feeling wonderful when you're really not feeling wonderful.
Mm. I
I mean,
agree.
if you look out the window and it's a lovely sunny day and the birds are singing and you feel great, you can say it's a wonderful day. I'm wonderful. Everything's going great in my life. This is so beautiful. And you know inside you're not perfect, but you at that moment in time you feel perfect. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's
Mm.
also nothing wrong with if you've got to do something like Beyonce, when she became Sasha Fierce
Right.
because she was very nervous about going out on stage. So at that point where she put her shoes on and walked out onto the stage, she was Sasha Fierce. So she was not that woman who was a bit scared of going on stage, which
Mm.
Beyonce was apparently.
Mm.
She was Sasha Fierce, who was not scared of anything. She would get on stage and she'd give a great performance, and she did. And that's okay. But if she walked around all the time thinking she was Sasha Fierce and she could do anything, she would realize that actually she can't. That's short term and people would see through it as well. So
Mm.
it's just kind of, you have to start from where you are. You have to start accepting yourself, flaws and all, and then work from there. So you can improve yourself from wherever you are,
Mm. Mm.
but remembering who you are. It's getting back to that aligning with what's important to you, who you are, accepting who
Mm.
you are. Does that make sense?
Do you remember at which point of your life you felt like there was a before and an after? Or
Mm.
maybe
I
was
don't.
there
I
a
don't
turning
think.
point?
Yeah, I don't think there's any specific point where I thought, okay, yesterday I was this, now I'm this. It was a gradual. So again, step by step, it was a gradual movement. But I would say, particularly, I would. Do you know what? I would say, particularly since joining Substack, I've changed again. I've transformed more because now I can come on a live and I chatter away like I'm talking to, a friend in a coffee shop. And maybe not a year ago, so I was doing it a year ago, but say 3 years ago, that would have been so difficult for me.
Mm.
But I've done it. And the inner critic shut up because I've done it a few times. I've messed up a few times. We've had all sorts of things go wrong. I've had early lives. I think we've all had them when nobody turns up and you're sat there talking to yourself for an hour. And you just get on with it. So I don't think there's any particular time, but I think I'm just gradually getting more and more confident. And I think now I am extremely confident. I don't have social anxiety. I am very confident, but there are still things that scare me, like
Mhm.
finding a parking space. Reverse parking scares me. I worry about finding a parking space that I can park in. I worry about whether I'm going to be late and miss my train or my bus or my flight, whatever I'm doing.
Mm.
Being late is something that really bothers me.
Mm.
Little things like that still really bother me.
Mm. Yeah, the thing with self-confidence, I think, is that many people imagine self-confident people as unstoppable, kind of fearless all the time. And it's not all or nothing, first of all. That it's like more of a spectrum, I think, in terms of, where you could be at any point
Yeah.
of time. And even certain situations will make you less self-confident than others, I think. Even, at work, perhaps if when you're doing the same task that you've been doing for the last 3 years, you're confident. But if you were put in a room and all of a sudden you had to speak for the first time in front of 100 people, well, perhaps it wouldn't be that much. So it's not like an all or nothing, and it doesn't make all worry disappear. But it's still good to have it and to work on it, and it will make life in general softer, I think,
Yeah.
and more peaceful.
Yeah. Just say hello, Rose, because he said hello to everybody, and also Curly Q, who's Heather. So hi, Heather.
Hi there.
Um, yeah. So what about you then? When do you think you became more confident?
For me, just like you, it wasn't a yesterday, today was gradual, but I do, when I think back, I do see turning points, even if it wasn't, it was more like 2 weeks rather than a day or two. It was over weeks, but I see a before and I see an after. And the before for me was I think my first year or maybe 6 months living in San Sebastian, Spain, when I moved from Paris to Spain. And that's when I was in Paris, I had more of I didn't have such a main character kind of job. I was working more in the shadows. I had like more of a support kind of role at the company I was at. And then I moved to working in sales. And all of a sudden I became the breadwinner of the department, or like one of the breadwinners, I would say. And, a lot of attention. Like you have kind of, I don't know how to, I'm not being very eloquent right now, but I hope you see what I mean. Like I started just by the role itself, not because of who I was, but the role itself channeled more attention from management, from clients. And I had to understand what my other colleagues did in terms of technical aspects and present them myself to the client. Like it was more of I was more exposed. And by being more exposed, I also felt like all of my flaws were exposed. And I really had imposter syndrome. There is no other way to say it. Like I felt that I was going to be discovered at any moment, that they made a huge mistake by hiring me, and that they were going to find out any minute now. And the entire context of that change, like it was really very much professionally oriented for me, because in my personal life things were great, but professionally speaking it was really really hard. And so I feel like I had those insecurities. I've had them ever since I started working, but because I didn't have I had like kind of a support role, like in the shadows, I was kind of managing them okay. But then as soon as they were exposed, I had to deal with them. There was no other way, because they were ruining my life. I was coming back home crushed every day. And that's, for me, that's the before. And then somewhere along the way, within weeks, perhaps months, I started listening to podcast episodes from people that I respected, and then reading a little bit more, and then noticing the voice, and then doing the work myself, exploring, and things started getting better and better over time.
Yeah. So did you start listening to podcasts and reading books because you thought, I need to like sort this out, I need to get better? Or was it just out of interest?
I really No, not at all. I mean, I wasn't thinking I have to get better. Let's find podcasts to solve it. It wasn't that. I think I first discovered through Instagram a woman called Athena Calderon, who is an artist. She's a chef and an interior designer, and I love what she did. And then she had a podcast, and in that podcast, and it's called More Than One Thing, and it's not very well known, but I really love it. I highly recommend it to everyone. She started speaking about certain things that she experienced, like her whole life, many times feeling inadequate. And she's one of the most eloquent people I know. I don't know her personally, but I know of.
Yeah.
And she felt like she wasn't eloquent, not articulate at all. And I was like, how could she think that? And then, little by little, I discovered other podcasts, and by accident, I kind of started, linking everything to my own life, and that's where the magic kind of happened. But I think it's important to point out that you can read all the books and you can listen to podcasts, and they will give you that little, switch. Like in French, they call it déclic. Like it's something goes click, in your mind,
Yeah.
and then
Like
the
an
light.
aha moment, we call
Yeah, an aha moment, exactly. But then you will also have to give yourself little, tiny little proofs every day that will make your own self believe your inner Ali when she speaks, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, that moment came when I finally made significant progress with my sugar addiction. Maybe addiction is too strong a word, but I managed to transform the way I eat, which was something I never succeeded in doing for years. But the day I was able to do that, I was like, wow, if I was able to do this, what else am I able to do? And I think that unlocked self-belief for me.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a path. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be exciting and fun. uh, in retrospect, it's not going to feel like that in the moment, but it's not again, 0-1, dark or light. It's going to be a path. But there are events in our life, I feel, that kind of give us that initial push.
Yeah, yeah, like you having to move countries and
Mm.
a different job. I was talking to my niece on the weekend because she moved from London to Vienna,
Oh.
and had to learn German for her job because she works in the embassy,
Mm.
and so she had to learn fluent German. And when she was working in the UK, all through her training through civil service in the Foreign Office, she would always like have people helping her. She'd have a mentor. And when she got to Vienna, she thought it was going to be the same. And it should have been. But the guy who was her line manager was about to retire. So in March, so she moved over August last year. In March this year, he was due to retire. So those first 6 months, he was like, I don't really care now. Do what you like. Sort it out for yourself. I'm not interested. Literally. And so she was thrown in at the deep end. She had to work it all out. And she got to do things the way like they would do in Austria, not the way they necessarily do over here. And yeah, she said, I struggled. She said, I found it so difficult.
Mm.
And she almost packed up and came home, but she kept going. And then she gradually settled in, like started working for herself. Um, and then she got a new line manager who is like completely different because he's a young new guy who wants to make an impression. So he's like really like hands on, let's do this together sort of thing. So he's completely
Mhm.
different, but she's now
Yeah.
really, really got the confidence. And she was never confident when she was younger.
Mhm.
And she has really built her confidence up over the years.
So would
With
you?
my help, I might add.
Oh, she's very lucky to have you. She has a world-class coach
Yeah.
helping her all the time. Lucky her. Would you say that? Would you say that practicing and doing is a non-negotiable for building confidence?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Confidence is on the other side of courage. You've got to go through the courage bit first. And like you were saying earlier, that you can stay in your comfort zone if you want to stay there. And you can live an ordinary life. But if you want something better, then you have to be willing to step out of your comfort zone just a little bit at a time. But the courage to do that will give you the confidence to do the next thing. And then when you do that, that gives you the confidence to do the next thing. So you're gradually moving up those steps and building your confidence on the way.
Mm.
And the first step is always the hardest.
The very, very first one I feel is
Yeah.
really key. That moment where you're like, I'm so sick of this, I have to do something. Or that first aha moment you get that makes you notice the voice and create some distance. Um, and I'm hoping that conversations like these, or that our conversation, can be the aha moment for someone, same way as I got a few from other podcasts, because
Yeah.
it can make you save so much time.
Yeah. 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 And, I had another lady I was talking to a little while back, and she'd moved. And I think moving countries is a big
Yeah.
like shift,
Catalyst.
because you don't have a choice unless you pack up and go back home again. You don't have a choice. You've got to
Yeah.
learn the new language. You've got to learn the new customs. You've got to make new friends and get by.
Yeah.
So it's a great teacher.
Mhm.
Ruth Wyndham, confidence is on the other side of courage. That's a brilliant pearl of wisdom, Sue. Thank you. Thank
It
you. I
really
can't
is.
remember where I got that from, but it's really good. I love it.
Mhm.
I think actually it was Jay Shetty. I think it was Jay Shetty.
Mm. Brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, um, I'll tell you something. Promise. Promise. Do you know Promise? The former monk, Promise. I
No.
did a live with him the other week. Okay, well, he's worth looking up, but he's called Paul now. He's gone back to, I'm assuming that was his original name. Promise was his name when he was a monk.
Uh-huh.
But when I was talking to him, he said something, and I know Brandon, you were there. You might remember it better than me. But he was talking about the river, and he was saying if you're in the river and you think you're drowning, and that you will be anxious, you will tighten up, you'll be panicking, all these thoughts will be going through your head. But then if you get out of the river, if you manage to get out and you dry yourself off and everything then is okay, and you turn around and look at the river's not changed. The river's exactly the same. It's just that you're no longer panicking. You're in a different state of mind. And that's how quickly you can change your mind. I mean, I can't remember. I should have written his words down when he said them, but it was really brilliant. He probably said, I probably just absolutely crucified it, but it was really good what he was saying, that, the river hasn't changed. It's just your perception of the river that's changed. One minute it was trying to kill you, and now it's back to being a beautiful river again.
Mm-hmm. That's a great illustration of the way our thoughts can shape
Yeah.
our reality, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Love
Okay.
it.
So, Ilham and I are going to do these lives once a month. So I think we chose the last Tuesday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
So do join us again. We'll have a different topic, but we want to keep the same concept, just chatty. My idea of going live with your gratitude every so often, 5-minute gratitude. Please do that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the replay. But I'm going to start doing it from tomorrow. Are you going to do it?
So you say join the live, or
You can join mine, or you can just do your own, or join somebody else's. Hopefully,
I would love to join yours. If I'm around, if I'm not working, I will definitely join yours. And if I don't, but you post the replay, I'll leave a comment.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to say what we're grateful for at that point in time. I'm doing my next live is on Monday, the 1st of June. I am talking about negative self-talk again, because I'm just summarizing what I've done over the 4 weeks in May. So it's just like a little finalization live chat. So it's been lovely talking to you.
It's so lovely. I'm so great. I'm so glad we're doing this, because I honestly miss chatting with you when we don't do when I don't go live with you, or we're a long time passing without talking. So I'm very happy that I get to speak to you at least once a month. And if that can help listeners, and if we can get some questions and comments, then all the even more fun. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. And if
Thank
there's
you for
anything
having
you
me.
want, sorry. Yeah.
I said thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thank you for being here. And lovely to see you too, Peter. Thank you.
Yes.
And if there's anything anybody wants us to talk about in the realms of confidence and personal development, getting 1% wiser, then just let us know. And if you don't subscribe to Ilham, subscribe to her. And if you don't subscribe to me, why not?
Yes.
How dare you? Okay, so Melin says, is it Mahola, which means thank you? I know that. Sue and Ilham, this was a very lovely conversation. Thank you. And Heather says, nice conversation. Thank you. Thank you, Heather. And Ruth, what time are you planning your live gratitude chat for? It's random, Ruth. So it's whenever I think of something to be grateful for. So you'll have to look out for it. But you don't, if you see it, come on. If you don't see it, but you watch the replay, make a comment. And if you want to do your own, then just do it. Let's start this movement. Let's start a gratitude movement. I think it's really important.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's been great.
Yes. Thank you for your comments and for joining, for being here. It was lovely.
Great.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Take care. Bye,
Have a
everybody.
wonderful day, evening, everyone.